Hey, welcome back to the channel. I'm Slamfire Prime, and today we're going to go to a gun show. This is a local gun show in town for this quarter, I'd say. It's about 3 times a year they come around, and I wanted to talk about how good gun shows are for if you're wanting to get into firearms as a hobby or get your everyday carry. It's a great place to start, mainly for one, you have a great selection of firearms that you can just walk up, you can hold. They keep them chained to the table so nobody can just run off with them, but you can grab them, see how they fit in your hand, see how you like the feel of them, see if it's the right firearm for you. You can check out the safety features. You can just see if the firearm you have you like.
Man, appreciate you coming
And see
out,
whether or
man.
not you're going to be comfortable shooting it. And sometimes they might let you dry fire. I'd ask first. But just, you can pick out what you might want and see how it feels in your hand. Another good thing about them is they're good for trades. While I am emotionally attached to most of my handguns, I am willing to go out and trade my AR-15 chambered in 450 Bushmaster. See what I can do. It's a custom build, and we'll see how that goes. But the problem there is, when you go to a gun show, it's all about supply and demand. A AR-15 chambered in 450 Bushmaster is not in as high of demand as a, say, AR pistol chambered in 300 Blackout or an AR chambered in 5.56. Not a whole lot of people are going to be interested in it, but some people might think it's neat, and I might be able to get something else that I might prefer to have. Or I can start a new build. You can also shop around for less than lethal options. Quick heads up, I bought the stick. So great for asking other people's opinions about their favorite types of firearms and getting a better idea of what you might like to have. So, what would you recommend for somebody's everyday carry?
Depends on your budget, but if you want just a general run-of-the-mill deal, I would probably look towards a Canik MC9 or a Prime if ideally. You're going to have a 17-round mag, upgraded trigger, compensated front, red dot option, comes with the mag well that's flared, extra mags, and a holster, and an awesome ass case. Nothing to complain about.
Well, thank you so much for plenty of historical merchandise, and a lot of craft people do things there as well.
Anything else you want to know?
Military surplus and parts galore if you're looking to build or get a certain thing, and you can just find all kinds of oddities. Did I mention the knives? Just the sheer abundance of pocket knives that they have there. And not just pocket knives. If you're looking at less than lethal like you saw earlier, they got police batons and whatnot. But they also have something that's cool because blackjacks are illegal. And I did a short about this before. But this is called a monkey's fist. It's basically a ball bearing inside 550 cord. And they got plenty of those. I didn't take any videos of them. I apologize for that. But my wife loves this thing. And they have some that are basically whips with an actual, blanking on the word for a second, let my brain load, buffering is a pool ball, a cue ball, number 8 ball. They have those weaved into here. And this is just to show that gun shows aren't just good for guns. You can also pick out any kind of knife, your self-defense tools as need be. This is Judy Motorcycle Leather Imports, but they say they sell everything but the motorcycle for you to get started, but there are so many different options here for you to pick out if you're not into, say, firearms. ODF knives, stun guns, self-defense rings, You can see some paperweights down there. Because you can't call them anything else. But there's all kinds of options. Did I mention the sheer variety of firearms? Now, if you're worried about whether or not you can carry at a gun show, I'll tell you right now, no. But now, something you may have noticed throughout the whole walkthrough is that every firearm has had a zip tie or something, lock and barrel, or a combination of the two. And that is because they do not allow loaded firearms here, and they make sure that every firearm that either comes in or goes out is safe to just be walked around. One thing I unfortunately did not get to show you was the zip tying process and the armed security or armed police officers that were there in case something did go awry. I was asked not to film on-duty police officers, and one of them said he was pending investigation, the one that particularly zip-tied my AR-15 or my AR-450 Bushmaster. He asked not to be on camera. I didn't give him time, or he didn't give me time to explain. I wasn't going to show his face or anything. I decided not to make it an issue, just respect his wish for privacy, along with many other people at the gun show. That's why you only saw the one guy being interviewed. And I do apologize if I caught anybody in my sweeping views that didn't want to be on camera. I'll apologize for that. But either way, it was nice. It made me feel better knowing that I can't be armed myself, at least with a firearm, but there is somebody there ready and willing to take action. Now, I know I'm going to get some slack if I don't mention this. People say that there is a loophole for gun shows where you don't need a background check, but really that depends on state to state. In the state of Louisiana, me, a private citizen, can sell a firearm to another private citizen, meaning that I don't need an FFL and neither does the person buying it, and I don't need to do a background check under the condition that I reasonably believe that that individual is not a criminal. While I was walking around with my 450 Bushmaster AR, I was approached and asked if I was selling it. I told him yes. He asked how much. It was another private citizen asking about this. And he did entertain the idea that he would come back to me around once he checked something else. And I, doing what I would say is the bare minimum, I just asked, hey, are you a criminal? You don't seem like one. I just want to ask, just for my peace of mind, if you're going to lie to me, then I can say you lied to me. Now, I didn't sell to this individual. This individual either left while I was feeding my son, because I had him and my dad there with us. We were just hanging out, having a nice father, son, grandfather time. Minus my oldest, he wanted to spend some time with his grandmother yesterday, and he tends to not have so much fun at the gun show. Sure, he'll walk around with me for my sake, much like how I go fishing with my father. I don't like fish. I'm having more fun lately with it, but I never really cared for the smell of the fish. But I am starting to enjoy fishing much more now that the dad is fully taking hold of me. But I wound up not selling to this individual. Either he left while I was feeding my son, or I couldn't find him afterwards. I was having trouble finding my dad in the crowd every so often. But either way, I managed to wind up getting a trade for my 450 Bushmaster AR through, if I remember right, it was Pearl River Guns in Pearl River, Louisiana. I'm sorry if that's not y'all. I might be misremembering. But they were kind enough to do a trade with me. They were kind enough to trade my AR in 450 Bushmaster for this AR pistol in 300 Blackout, which is what I wanted to begin with when I got the AR and 450 Bushmaster. But at the time, it was still a lot of COVID inflationary stuff. And like I was saying earlier, gun show prices tend to fluctuate a lot with supply and demand. So when I was there today, a lot of AR pistols that were $800 to $1,000 last year when I went are currently $500. That's sweet, neat. And this one in particular, they let me put together myself with just picking out a lower and an upper. So I picked the 300 Blackout upper. That was the shortest barrel they had for 350, and this lower that I don't really know anything about for 175, and I was down with that. Now the AR that I originally got or brought to trade, I paid $500 for just the upper minus a few parts, and another $300 for the lower. Now with the gun market fluctuating and whatnot, the upper wound up going down to $100. So I probably got swindled there, and the lower has gone down for the exact same lower to 100 and whatever. Either way, I'm happy. I got what I wanted to begin with. And as you can see, like I was again saying earlier in this video, it is zip tied for safety so that I couldn't load it afterwards. Are you okay over there? Okay. Oh, like I was saying. Okay. Okay. But yeah, make sure that nobody can just pick up a magazine or load a magazine after they buy a magazine and some rounds. Just load one into a firearm. They zip tied it so that can't be used. And again, if I was to break it with one of the knives, pop it open with one of the knives or something, law enforcement was there on site to deal with the situation. Makes me happy. I wish everywhere that said no guns allowed, no weapons allowed, would have at least some form of armed security or security in general. That is a rug, ma'am. Leave it be. To deal with whatever situation in case somebody does become violent with a weapon. Now, because Pearl River Guns is a licensed FFL, they did have me fill out a background check for it, which I passed, thankfully. As you can see, I have the firearm. And I do like having the background check system in place, and it makes me feel comfortable knowing that it is already registered in my name, and that if something does happen, they know it's me, and I can tell them, yeah, that was stolen, I reported it stolen, so on and so forth. While if I was to buy a firearm off of, say, one of my cousins, and it gets stolen and then used in a crime, and they come back to me, I got to tell them I sold it to him, and it becomes a bit murky. And for the sake of clarity and legal clarity, I like to try and stay away from that. Not to say that I agree with gun control laws. They are infringements, but for sake of peace and argument, I don't want to argue too much. I'll just say I like them. But back into the pistol, I'm quite happy with it. It's very nice. Oh God, you stay on me. We're going to send that bolt forward. Yeah. Hopefully I didn't just wake the baby. Now I do apologize, I didn't really do a full experience. I didn't just walk around for a while. I've just been showing you clips of what's in the gun show. But really, it was a nice experience. A lot of people didn't want to be on camera, and I chose to respect that. So I decided not to just walk around with the camera and just record everybody. I went up to some people to ask if I can interview them on camera and ask them what they would like to carry. That one guy that you saw is about the only guy that agreed to actually being on camera. So just for everybody's peace of mind, I preferred to make sure that they had their privacy and their peace. And again, I do apologize for that one wide stance. I may have gotten a few people, and I do apologize again for that. But all in all, very nice experience. Everybody commented on what they got. It was a nice time just talking to people, saying, "Oh yeah, that firearm right there is I carry one of those. It's good." Somebody over here is saying, "Oh, I want to get this much for this firearm," and you can walk in and just joke with them. One guy misheard another that was trying to sell, a private citizen trying to sell his firearm to a dealer, and the dealer goes $6, and he goes, "No, this much." "Well, I can't go that quite that high." So, "Okay, well, why don't you make me an offer?" And I come up off to the side and go, $6. All in all, a lovely time. A bit warm in there, but then again, what do you expect when you cram a couple hundred people together in a building? You expect it not to be that warm. Either way, I'm going to post links in the description for the companies that I can remember and that I spoke with for whatever reason. And like Pearl River Guns, Brothers LA Arms, I think that one banner said. Jesus, I got her card. Why am I struggling? It's Jandy. And this guy that did custom work. Oh, I forgot to show you all some of the custom work. I'll show you the clip I got for this individual here. What is the name of your company? Sorry, this is going to take a moment. Got your 6 Tactical Supply Custom AR Weaponry. Home of the Rougarou. Oh God, yeah, I am illiterate sometimes. Jesus. Rougarou AR-15. This is a real nice guy. Is one of the people interested in the 450 Bushmaster I had. And yeah, going to put links in the description for the companies that I can remember. And as always, y'all stay safe out there. Have you seen anything more beautiful than a America 12 gauge with a drum mag? Have you seen anything more beautiful than a America 12 gauge with a drum mag?